look at me and say some stuff, and I guess you won't really look at me. Just like look around at each other and.
Hi.
We don't really make a lot of eye contact.
Okay, so here's this. You want to? These are both rolling now. Do you want to do a slate, Dan, or?
Okay, why are we here?
Well, we're Loma, and we're gonna ask each other some questions. What do you wish to see happen to your bandmates? What do you wish to happen to Dan and to me?
Well, let's see. I suddenly imagined an ideal day for Dan in which he's presented with a whole lot of broken things.
Oh yeah.
That he's somehow able to fix all of them by the end of the day, ingeniously and with solutions that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And they all work, and they continue.
And then
to
I
work.
combine them into one giant robot.
Yeah. As for you, gosh.
You're moving to a tiny village, so I kind of want you to like collect some sort of following there.
Okay.
Is a cult really a good thing for Emily though? I'm not sure.
No, they wouldn't consider it that. Yeah,
I mean a club.
Club.
Emily is moving to the UK about 24 hours from now.
Tomorrow.
Which makes this a unique moment in the history of our band since we just made this record, and it's going to be released when we live on separate continents.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be bicontinental.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See, he did it too. It's fun. It's 2 sheets of paper. It's not like a stack.
Yeah. Let me get my thought together.
Astrological signs?
I'm a Scorpio.
Same.
Double Pisces.
Double Pisces. What does that mean?
I think it means avoid.
Okay. Well.
These are really good questions.
Thank
Who came up
you.
with these?
I did.
Emily, do a laugh. Well, so far this is going really well. Which song on the new record do you relate to the most?
We can edit out all this dead air.
Or
to
not.
think.
Of course, what we should do, and I'm serious about this, is put a little music underneath this.
Yeah, we should.
It'll just make it very meditative. Thorn, track 1, side 2.
Yeah.
Which came about because Emily has a podcast called What I'm Looking At, which is exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, just
Podcast about what I'm looking at.
it's just her describing what she's looking at. Lots of detail and like a decent amount of mouth sounds.
I edit those out now, Dan.
Okay.
Dan, we were listening to Hurdy Gurdy Man and thinking about what an awesome song it is, and we're trying to make a song kind of like that. And we totally failed at that, but we made this little groove. And then we grabbed some of Emily's podcasts and started putting that over the top of the thing, totally without Emily's knowledge or permission.
And we slowed it down a little bit too.
Yeah, we slowed it down. And that was, I think you were describing some moss or something.
Yeah.
But then a little of that remained in the very top of the song, but by the time it was all done, there was actually a song there with a melody. And by the end of it, I couldn't remember who had done what or how it ended up the way that it was. Yeah, it seemed kind of like a
mashup at the end of a podcast and a choir thing and
I still don't
drum
know
and
what
bass
it
group.
is.
I like it, but I'm confused by it. But that's kind of how I feel about a lot of things on the record.
I probably relate to Blue Rainbow the most because it's what I feel like it's equally like this, like frantic and just like okay.
But that's very you.
That's like how I feel most of the time.
Dan appears very serene, but there's a terrified
it's a tightly
person
knit ball
screaming
with
to
like
get out.
calm surface.
Yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like a pond full of little tiny fish, very still, but under it,
Little
pure
minnows.
fish.
Pure fish.
Pure, it's just nothing but fish.
It's a ball of fish. What song do you relate to?
Probably I Fix My Gaze because I wrote that one fully by, well, at least the
It's the original song. It was
Years
the whole
ago.
song.
years
itself.
ago, yeah. For
Yes.
my friend Thomas, who was suffering from cancer in the hospital. Not to get dark, but that song was for him.
I love that song, partly because the only thing I play on it is wind chimes. But I love the way I was really happy about placing it at the beginning of the record because it seemed like an invitation. Like it really it draws you in.
Sets the pace.
Yeah, in that way. I always wanted to have a song like that at the top of a record.
Just kind of like, hey, slow down, not really screaming at you, just like, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna spend a little time together.
What's your morning routine? Or your beauty routine?
Beauty.
Or morning?
Usually awakened by dogs barking and jumping on the bed, followed by a cat hissing and pawing at them.
So chaos right away.
Chaos right away, go downstairs, make coffee, like do things really fast, and then like wake up about an hour later.
What's your morning routine?
Well, I have a little coffee waiting already.
Do you really? Like
do.
You make it the night before?
Yeah.
And then you just like reach over
Yeah, I
and
just
pound
kind
it?
of slug that down and then...
Okay, do you want to ask a question?
I'm gonna go just make sure we recorded this. I think we did, but there's just always that feeling in my mind that I forgot to hit record, like all the time.
It's not crazy.
That's recording.
Oh, good. Well, that's a relief.
Perfect. How many more questions should we ask?
I don't know.
How long have we been
Wait,
going?
is this getting windy in here?
No, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
What's windy mean?
I don't know.
Too much
long.
hot air.
Okay. There was a squirrel.
There was a squirrel.
Oh. In the first record, it was such an exploration because we hadn't worked together before. We'd been on tour together with our separate bands, but we didn't know what the three of us working together would be like. So it was kind of just feeling around in the dark. There's less guitar on this record. Dan and I were kind of going down some studio rabbit holes of learning how to play some instruments we hadn't really played much before. And
Part of the process that sort of binds the two records together is that just we have to, there's an element of patience that is required for us to arrive at something that we all like, and I think that's
so
sort
much
of
patience. That's true.
that's kind of like
very,
There's
very
no way
iterative.
around it.
It's so rare that we have something where we're like, that's it.
I think one thing that kind of is like a Loma thing at this point is the use of natural sounds. I feel like that's very Loma of us.
field recordings in the property or
Yeah,
in
but
the
I
area.
think with us, we don't want to necessarily just like get a field recording and put it in the song. You know, I think we want to mess with it somehow, and I think we're delighted by the pure sound of the natural world, you know, and so we like to manipulate it and see what else can emerge from that. Oh, I wrote a question. Hold on, that relates. Favorite animal or bug found at the ranch?
I've done some good ones lately.
Yep. Remember that time were having a session and Emily was doing vocals and you knocked on the door and you're like, dung beetle.
Oh yeah.
And then we all just went outside and then watched this dung beetle roll a little ball of shit for like 10 minutes. And we just,
So good.
that was like, yeah.
That
I
was so
love them.
fun.
Oh my god, I love
That was
them.
really fun.
Were you here when the giant centipede was here?
Yeah.
God, that thing's incredible.
I've seen those a couple times.
It's
here.
like they're like about
Yeah, but
this
there's-
long, and they look like they're shiny like plastic.
Aren't each of their legs poisonous?
I don't know.
Is that
Or
true?
they can sting you.
But I
I
thought
think
that
only
each of
the
their-
mouth parts can
Yeah.
sting you on those, but
Wouldn't
I'm not
that
sure.
be so cool though?
But we got those. We got scorpions here.
But what's your
Is
favorite?
A favorite. Favorite.
Is my
Okay.
question. Animal or bug?
I'm gonna go with the dung beetle.
That makes sense.
That coral snake sure was something. It was just
yeah.
so beautiful.
And so deadly.
How about the hedgehog that you?
Oh, the hedgehog was the best. Yeah, there was a hedgehog living in the housing of the septic tank, the
Yeah.
pump for the septic tank, and it was a fugitive hedgehog from the petting zoo.
We've had some multiple fugitives, hedgehogs, peacocks. There was a tortoise escaped the other day.
Didn't get far.
Yeah.
I love seeing those jackrabbits.
Oh yeah,
Because
haven't
in
seen
the,
one
in
of
the
those in a
tall
while.
grass, you can just see their ears coming out, and they're so big. They're like the size of a
yeah,
small
they're
dog.
really big.
Should we ask
yeah.
one more question?
Well, I was going to say one thing about sound that's really important to me is that this record is pretty thick with a lot of different kinds of sounds. I think the cover kind of reflects it. There's this forest of these brightly colored, detailed plants, encroaching on the figure in front of it. And the underbrush is thicker on this record than it is on the first record.
Yeah.
But every sound is there for a reason.
Is it?
There's a reason we didn't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, not necessarily an intention behind why it was produced in the first place. But it kind of grew, it was more like a garden or something.
Right.
But that was when we were pruning, to keep extending this metaphor, which we had to do a lot on some of these songs. They got
pruned.
so
Yeah,
thick.
we just would improvise for a long time and then
pruned
take
so
5
much.
seconds of this, 5 seconds of that, and kind of just.
And the result was, ultimately the criteria you had to use, like, does it stay or not, is does it mean something? Not just is it cool? And so all of these little moments, it was one of the things I loved that Eno left in on the mix of homing, was there's like a little tiny laugh at the top of it from you in one of the tracks when we were combining all the different vocals to get that sort of choir sound. I was so happy that he left that in. Because it's this little moment of life, this little sort of.
Do you think he left it in on purpose, or do you think he just glazed over?
I doubt.
So does it mean Brian Eno likes?
He didn't. Mike likes your laugh.
Full endorsement.
But he left in some of the things that he could have taken easily.
Yeah.
Just perfected right out. He didn't do it.
Yeah. Who's gonna ask the final question?
Final question. The final countdown.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
Dan gets asked.
Let's see. Let's go with this. What feeling or emotion do we hope people feel
When listening to the
when
record.
listening to the new record? And cut. That's the end.
Okay, well, are we done?
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
All right, let's make some more coffee.
Let's make some more.
Look at the
Thank
camera,
you.
wave and say bye. I'm just kidding.
Bye.
Bye.